Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to the first Dolls I Don't Want video of 2024. We're starting off very early in the year here. If you haven't seen these videos that I do before, it's a series that I've been doing continuously on my channel where I talk about dolls that have either recently released or are going to be released soon that I don't plan on buying. I do usually end up buying dolls that I want and then I do reviews for them, but I have opinions on literally everything and I like to talk about it because I just can't keep it to myself. So this series is a way for me to kind of talk about the dolls that I don't plan to buy and why that might be. This one is a little bit of a weird one because I feel like it's pretty normal for there to be leaks floating around the internet of dolls that are going to be upcoming, and I never include leak images in these videos, partially because things could change. Like sometimes the leak is a prototype and it might not end up being like really representative of what the final doll is going to look like, but also I'm just really afraid of copyright claims, so I don't like to do anything other than official stock photos. And when I was going through my list of dolls, so many dolls that I want to put on here, we only have leaked images for. So there's a pretty solid chance that if you guys are like thinking of a doll that I have missed, if it's not a doll that I want, it's just a doll that I don't have stock images for, so I don't feel like I can talk about it. But there are still plenty of dolls that do have stock images that I don't plan on buying, and today we are going to talk about why that is. Of course, this is just going to be full of my opinion, so if you guys disagree with me, that is totally chill, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on these dolls in the comments down below. If you find yourself enjoying the video, if you could give it a like, that's super helpful to me. If you're new here and you enjoy your time, definitely subscribe so you can see more. And if you want to go out of your way to support me, I have like my P.O. box and links and stuff in the description down below. That was a lot to get out of the way. Let's start talking about some dolls that I don't think are that great. Alrighty, so first we have a couple of Monster High things to talk about. The first one is a Monster High Polly Pocket collab. So it's like a tiny little Polly Pocket container, like one of the really small ones. And there's little Monster High figurines of Claudine and Dracula and Frankie inside. I do think this is a really cute idea. I think this is like a fun little crossover to have. I'm not really a Polly Pocket person. I used to have like the slightly bigger fashion dolls with the rubbery clothes when I was younger, but I never really was into the little like clamshell type play sets with the super mini dolls. They just never really struck my fancy, so this isn't one that I think is like a terrible release. It's just not really for me. Same thing honestly could be said for the other Monster High entry on today's list. That is the Welcoming Committee like fashion pack. I'm not really sure what to call this because fashion pack I feel like kind of implies just one outfit, but this one comes with a shirt, a skirt, a jacket, a pair of pants, two shirts actually, my bad, a couple of accessories, and then some hangers. So there's like a lot going on here. I feel like it's a little bit more than a fashion pack, but no doll, so I'm going to call it a fashion pack. Anyway, though, I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. Again, I don't think that this is like the worst release ever. It's just not personally to my taste. I think there are some pieces that are cuter than others. I actually really do like the joggers. I think those are quite precious. The kind of tank top is nice. The skirt, I feel kind of on the fence about, but I just don't feel super enthused by any of these clothes enough to where I would want to spend money on this. So I'm sure it's going to make tons of people happy, and I do think it's a fun release. It's just not really targeted towards me. Next up, we actually have a new line of dolls, which doesn't happen like all that frequently, so that could be exciting news, except I don't want any of them. And this one I do think is less of a personal opinion and more of like a questionable choice on the brand. We'll get into it. It's called the B Fashion Academy dolls, and from like the get-go, I just don't think that these are exactly my cup of tea. I think the faces are a bit unsettling. I'll have like the first one with the like leopard print up here. I don't know any of their names. I'm sorry. I just didn't even bother to learn. Yeah, I'm not in love with the faces. The fashions I think are fine, but there's a bigger problem. You won't see it with this one because I feel like, you know, the doll and the art match pretty well. But this next one, oh, the name is on the box. I'm sitting here looking at the picture, ignoring the name. Cassie. You may notice that in Cassie's artwork on the box, she is significantly darker in skin tone than she is on the actual doll. And I think that's weird. I don't think that that is a good look for the burgeoning brand. Yeah, it doesn't feel great. And in fact, all of the dolls that I'll be showing you here have the exact same skin tone. This next one is Hera. She matches with her box art pretty well because her skin on the doll is pale, and that's apparently the default for the line. Then we have Kalia. I'm not really sure how you would pronounce this, but again, it's not as dramatic as Cassie's was. You can see that the box art depicts someone who has a slightly darker skin tone than the doll. And then lastly, we have Bryce, who again actually matches up with the skin tone of the drawing for her. And I just don't think this is a great look. Like, there's not really a way to sugarcoat that. I think it is bad enough, or like questionable enough, I guess you would say, in the year of 2024 to start a doll line with all of these characters. What, 5 characters? Yeah, 5 different characters, and all of them have the exact same pale tone of skin. I don't think that that is super. Cassie does have textured hair, which is nice to see at least that, but you know, it could be better right off the bat. And then when you pair it with the fact that the art is clearly showing that, like, at some point they were trying to have a slightly more diverse cast, I just don't think it's a good look. I feel like these dolls should have been released with the skin tones to match the character art. Like, I just, I'm struggling to come up with a reason that that would happen. I don't know. It's not super, I'm not obsessed with it. And yeah, I don't really like the dolls to begin with. I don't think any of them stand out to me, but that makes me feel gross. Moving on to a less serious situation here, we can talk about the Rainbow High reboot dolls. I did just put out a video talking about my like in-depth opinions on the reboots and these dolls, so I'm gonna just kind of gloss over each one pretty quickly here. You can check out that video if you haven't seen it already, if you want to hear like more in-depth thoughts on these. First up, all 4 of the junior high like slumber party or whatever. I don't even know what the line is called. That's how little I'm interested. But those dolls, I don't really love junior high dolls, and I typically don't love pajama dolls, so right off the bat it's just not for me. Then I'll have an image up here of all of the like core slime dolls. You'll notice that I have Skylar and Amaya like kind of crossed out here. That's because those are the only 2 that I would consider getting. All of the others, Ruby, Sunny, Jade, and Violet, are kind of varying between I like some of their pieces, but I just don't like enough to buy the full doll, to Violet's end, where I think it's just really an ugly doll. So not planning on buying those 4. And then we have the 4 budget swim dolls from the Rainbow High reboot. We've got Ruby, Sunny, Skylar, and Violet. I really like articulation, so these are a little bit rough for me. These would have to be really, really, really standout dolls for me to accept the lack of the bend in the knee. And I do think that they're cute. I think they're fine for what they are, except for Skylar and that hideous printed on denim swimsuit. But I just don't feel good enough about them to want to buy them, because like I like some of the outfit pieces, even though I'm not typically a like swim person, but I know I wouldn't like the bodies of these dolls, and I know it would just be a waste of money for me. So we're not getting that. And then lastly, we have all of the new fashion packs for the reboot. The only one I'm considering is the one advertised for Sunny, which is the one with like the little skates and the shorts and the headphones. I think that's quite cute. I still haven't decided yet whether I'm going to end up getting it or not. I think I'll probably hope that like they end up in stores near me at some point so I can see it in person and kind of judge from there. But all of the other ones are a definite no for me. Next up, we have the Always Bratz dolls from Bratz, obviously, and this is really fun because these are actually like brand new designs. Bratz has been doing, since like they kind of started reproducing things, either reproductions or they have done some new like designs for the dolls at a collector level, but this is the first time in a very long time that we've gotten Playline Bratz dolls that have new designs. I think that Chloe is amazing. I think that Sasha is gorgeous. Yasmin is falling a little bit flat for me. I actually think in this stock image she doesn't look that bad. Like I feel like she looks pretty good in the stock photo, but people have been posting pictures of them in real life, and like even before we actually got the stock photos, I saw leaked photos of them of like people who just happened to find them early, and I just don't think that she looks that good like in a real photo. It might just be like a variation of where she was produced, or might have even just been some sort of misprint situation, but the photos that I have seen of her in real life, her face just looks super wonky to me. I'm not really sure what it is. Maybe if I saw her in person and her face wasn't actually that bad, I would change my mind, but probably not. And then Jade, I feel so sad because I'm usually a big Jade fan. I think that she usually has really, really fun fashions. I am so beyond confused by this because she genuinely looks to me like a toddler who's playing dress up with their parents' clothes, and none of it goes together, okay? Because we have almost what I would describe as like kind of an elegant, nice hairstyle. Like, it's a little bit pulled back. Like, she just looks kind of nice. But then we've got like a lumberjack coat going on, and underneath that is what I can only describe as like a very preppy style with this kind of sweater vest over a collared shirt. Then we've got leather shorts with calf-length fishnets, which is again a completely different vibe. Rain boots, and she comes with, I know they're sunglasses, but they look like ski goggles. I'm just so baffled by all of this. I don't understand how any of this is supposed to work together. Like, I get the idea of mixing different like elements of different styles to kind of create your own. I'm down with that. I just think too much was put into this, and it doesn't look right to me. And I'm really just sad by that, because like I said, I tend to like jade dolls, but absolutely none of this one is working for me. I almost forgot, we actually have another thing from Bratz, and that is the Bratz Babies reproductions that are going to be coming out. I'm just not a fan of the Bratz Babies. Like, they kind of just creep me out, I have to be honest. I think part of it is that I'm just not into really baby dolls to begin with. Obviously, these are very different than like a traditional baby doll, but they're still depicting toddlers or babies, and that's not really something that I tend to lean towards. It's not something that I'm really into to begin with. And I don't know, I don't find many dolls creepy, clearly, but I kind of find these a little bit creepy. If you like them, that's great. Like, I'm super happy for you if you're excited for these. I'm just not. And then the last dolls that I can talk about today, like the last dolls that I don't want that actually have stock photos as of time of me filming this, are coming from Nanana. I wrote this down as being the Nanana Sweetest Sweet Slime. I had to have made a typo, right? Like, there's no way that's the name of the line. I'll check it, and then when I'm editing, I'll put it up here if I was right or wrong, because like, that's kind of silly. It's kind of goofy. This first one is a bunny Nanana with like a polka dot dress that I'm assuming is meant to kind of look like gumdrops, since they are all sweets themed. Not really for me, but I do want to highlight that if you zoom in on this, it appears that these have the fabric bodies. Like, this doesn't look like plastic. It looks like it's been printed onto fabric bodies like Nanana used to do. But Nanana recently made like all plastic bodies with their fuzzy reveal dolls, and I think a lot of people, myself included, were like, oh, I guess they're doing all plastic bodies now. I guess that was just because that gimmick kind of necessitated a plastic. I'm extremely confused by everything that Nanana does. Like, they just absolutely baffle me as a company in terms of every decision that they make, if I'm being honest. Sometimes they make cute stuff, but I don't understand it at all. Anyway, I'm not really into this one. Again, I don't know their names. I am so bad about when I know that I don't want a doll caring enough to find out their names. I'm sorry. I just don't feel that strongly. This next one is a little like girl who's cat themed, and she's got on a dress with cherries. She's probably my favorite of the bunch because like I am a sucker for a good cat, but I still don't think that she's cute enough for me to want to get her. It's just not really my vibe. Then we have what I believe to be a bear. I think, yeah, the comb is a bear, so that's what we're going to go with. And she's got like a rainbow sort of print on her dress. Honestly, the Nananas feel kind of unsettling in a strapless dress. I don't know if I've ever, like, I guess there was the mermaid one that had kind of a strapless top. Was that a strapless top? I don't even remember at this point. But yeah, it looks strange to me. I don't know. Something about it is a little bit off. And then lastly is one that's going off of the brush again, I'm guessing is like an alpaca or a llama. Her hat's cute. She's got like a cookie dress. I just really don't feel anything about any of these. I'm just still baffled by the brand, but there you are. And then lastly from Nanana, and also for the rest of the video, they are coming out with Series 3 of the Nanana Minis. Now, I skipped out on Series 1 of the Nanana Minis. I just like wasn't interested in the brand at that point. Then I was gifted a little Nanana mini from Series 2 and instantly fell in love with her. I bought a few more and I loved all of those. So I am interested to see these. I'm excited that they're continuing to do some, especially because there are a lot of designs here that are the same characters as the fuzzy reveal characters, which is super for me because I did think a lot of those had really cool designs, but after the like absolute time that I had trying to do the fuzzy reveal on the one that I have, I wasn't going to buy anymore. Like there was no way I was going to buy anymore and put myself through that. So now it's cool because I can get some of the designs from that series, but like in a smaller form and without having to peel all of that terrible stuff off. Honestly, I like a lot of these. I think a lot of these are really cool. I definitely won't be getting the little cow girl because I don't like cows. I think the silver bear girl, it's not really for me either. I'll definitely want some of the cat themed ones. So like, maybe this shouldn't necessarily like be at the end of the dolls I don't want video, but I don't want all of them, so I feel like it counts. I just couldn't find an image of like each individual one, so I couldn't like highlight each individual one, and I haven't fully decided, but I'm not going to get all of them at least. And yeah, guys, that concludes the dolls I don't want video for today. I'm like bursting with opinions on other dolls, and I just can't talk about them yet, and it is driving me a little bit crazy, but they will just have to wait until the next time I have one of these videos. I make them with like a decent amount of frequency. I think I had like 5 or 6 last year, so hopefully it won't be too long for you guys to be able to hear me rant about other dolls, but I do hope you were able to enjoy today. As I said before, I would love to hear what you thought of these dolls in the comments down below. Very curious to see if we share kind of similar opinions. But yeah, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or your night or whatever it might be, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye, guys.